A long time ago there was a man called BAGABOBARABONA who was fondly known to his close friends as Bagabo. Like many Rwandan names, his had a special meaning. His father, who died soon after Bagabo's birth, had decided to name him in reference to the challenges he faced while his wife was expecting the child. When Bagabo became of age, he married and lived happily with his wife on a hilltop overlooking Bayamana. One day his wife conceived. After several months, she developed an obsessive urge of eating a guinea fowl. So she requested her husband to urgently find her that bird. The husband obliged, and the following morning, he set off with his hunting dog. He roamed the whole forest but could not find any guinea fowl. When the sun was almost setting, he decided to set up a trap, after which he went back home, exhausted. The following day, he came to see his trap and found that it had caught a tiny rat that told him, "Man, please save my life today, I may save yours tomorrow." Bagabo replied, "Since you have acknowledged that I am a man, I will save your life." So he set the rat free. He moved to another site, set up his trap, and went back. When he came to check the trap the following morning, he found that a guinea fowl had been caught. He felt very lucky. He happily put it in his bag and went home smiling to himself. His journey was interrupted by a heavy downpour that forced him to seek shelter from a nearby rock. His dog followed him there. Before he could thank God for having created the rock, a hyena emerged from behind and told him while laughing, "Welcome to my home. Because of this rain, I was worried that I would not find anything to eat today. Now, tell your dog to eat this guinea fowl, and then eat your dog before I eat you." Before the hyena finished saying this, a leopard appeared and said, "Man, tell your dog to eat the guinea fowl, then eat your dog. The hyena will eat you before I eat the hyena." Soon after, a lion appeared and told all those animals, "I am waiting for all of you to follow the leopard's instructions before I eat it, because I am too hungry to keep waiting." As the lion waited for one animal to eat the other, a rat came to the rock and asked, "What is that noise all about?" The animals explained to the rat what had happened. "I see," said the rat, and added, "Okay, man, tell your dog to eat the guinea fowl, then eat your dog. The hyena will eat you before it is eaten by the leopard. The lion must eat the leopard before I eat it." The bemused lion looked at the tiny rat and tried to scare it off the scene because it thought that such a little creature had no business there. The rat screamed, and before long, all the rats in that forest had assembled at the rock. The lion looked left and right and found that the whole place was full of rats with all their teeth out. On seeing this, the lion thought that the rats had come to finish him off. He thought, "A mighty animal like me should not start a fight with rats. Let me leave the battle for the lesser animals like the leopard and the hyena." When the lion left, the leopard got very worried. He thought, "What if the lion changed its mind and found me here? He would definitely eat me." So the leopard decided to leave the rock very fast. The hyena thought that the leopard would come back and therefore decided to take off as fast as it could. Soon Bagabo found himself with only his dog and the bag that contained the guinea fowl. The rat told him, "Didn't I tell you that I too could save your life? You can now go home peacefully." Bagabo thanked the rat, headed home and gave his wife the guinea fowl. She cooked and ate it happily. 2 weeks later, his wife told him that she wanted to eat mushrooms. He told his wife not to worry because plenty of it grew in the nearby valley. The next morning, he went to the valley and collected a basketful of mushrooms which he carried to his wife. On his way back home, he met people who were looking for a thief who had stolen a cow from the king's herd. They stopped Bagabo and asked him where he was going and what he was carrying. He told them that he had just collected some mushrooms which he was carrying home. When they opened the basket, they found meat. This surprised Bagabo, who knew very well that what he was carrying was indeed mushrooms. Then he suggested taking them where he had collected the mushrooms, but on reaching there, they found blood and the skeleton of a cow on the very spot where he had collected the mushrooms. This was enough proof that he had stolen the cow. They took Bagabo to the king's palace. When it was his turn to come and answer his charges, he came acrobatically and hit the king with a heavy kick. He waited for the king to wake up. He pretended to bow down and thrust his hands in the king's eyes before running away as fast as possible. The king's servants followed him. Bagabo reached a flooded river that he could not cross. When he looked nearby, he noticed some smoke, and on careful observation, he saw that the smoke was coming from a hut that belonged to an old woman. He begged her to hide him. His pursuers arrived immediately, but when they saw the swollen river, they thought that he had drowned and therefore went back. After some time, Bagabo said that he wanted to leave. The old woman escorted him to the river and gave him a magic stick that would help him cross the flooded river. Before she bade him goodbye, she told him to utter the following words to the stick. "Magic stick, perform the magic that you always did for the grandmother." On reaching the swollen river, Bagabo wondered whether he should really risk his life by crossing it. He thought for a moment. Then he decided to utter the words to the magic stick. Before he could finish the last words, the stick started hitting him until he started screaming. Then the magic stick paused and told him, "I have stopped beating you. Now you can tell me whatever you want. Meanwhile, let me treat the wounds that I have inflicted on you before you bleed too much." Bagabo had been so thoroughly beaten that he could hardly talk. He only murmured, "Take me across the river." Immediately he found himself on the other side of the river. Then the magic stick said, "This is your chance to tell me everything you wish in your life." Bagabo thought for a while, and then replied, "I want many herds of cattle and a large number of servants to look after them." To his amazement, he saw more herds of cattle than he had imagined. Then his wife appeared from nowhere and joined him. They were reunited and lived happily thereafter. Is there anything in a name?